I've typed with large keyboards, small keyboards, odd keyboards, non-keyboards, different layouts, and different layouts. But that thing, it scares me. The dactyl manuform. Even the name makes it sound nothing like a keyboard. This thing is a 40% split ortholinear curved ergonomic keyboard. What does all of that even mean? Okay, let's start with the most interesting one to me, ortholinear. You may have never even thought about it, but each row on the keyboard is slightly offset from each other. They're staggered. But why? If you've been on this channel before, you might remember that I learned another keyboard layout, and the reason alternative layouts exist is because QWERTY, our standard layout, is basically outdated. It's popular because it was the first, but in terms of efficiency and design, it's not nice in your hands. Much like the origins of QWERTY, keys in the keyboard are staggered because of the design of the typewriter. The bars leading from each key to the type hammer can't be in line with each other in a physical space, so rows were staggered in order to allow for the bars to pass each other. That's the only reason keys are staggered. Why do we still use it? And again, like QWERTY, despite its inefficiency, everyone's already learned to type with staggered keys and staggered keyboards, so redesigning all existing keyboards to this new standard would be impossible. A lot of people in the past knew about my enjoyment of improving with niche alternatives, and recommended me things like playing FPSs with swapped hands. But it's not just the fact that it's unpopular that makes it interesting to me, it's the fact that, in theory, it should be better than whatever is popular. This is one such case. The idea behind ortholinear layouts is that our fingers are better at moving up and down than left to right. If the rows are unstaggered, then it should be more comfortable to move between rows. But ortholinear on its own wasn't enough to really wow me the first time I tried it. While it revealed a lot of interesting quirks about my typing style, it didn't feel that much more comfortable or ergonomic. Despite its origins, the stagger of the keys feels like it allows me to approach the keyboard from a more natural angle. But with an ortho, because your hand should be moving in line with the columns for the intended effect, it felt almost cramped. Either I had to bring my elbows in or bend my wrists, which felt like I was basically asking for carpal tunnel. So what if we could angle the keys in whatever direction is most neutral for our wrists? Plenty of boards have tried this approach, but the ultimate solution is to split the board in half. This way, your fingers will be in line with the columns no matter what angle is comfortable for you. Okay, what about curvature? Well, each finger is a different length and has a slightly different range of motion, so the curve accommodates that. The pinky column is further down and slightly higher than the column for the middle finger. Aside from that, it also uses the same idea as those weird ergonomic mice that you hold vertically. Not having to rotate your wrist to be facing completely downwards is pretty comfy. Alright, let's talk form factor. When I was first interested in mechanical keyboards, I fell in love with the aesthetic of a 60%. And after I got one, I sung the praises of function layers and how you don't lose any functionality from using a smaller keyboard. But whenever I looked through Massdrop to see what was out there, I was disgusted by the plank. This keyboard can't have any real reason to exist. It is purely a novelty item. 40% was just too far. But here's the logic behind smaller keyboards. Of course, there's the aesthetic appeal and how they take up less space in your desk, but you don't have to move your hands as much to reach any specific key. While there's an additional button you have to press to access these missing keys, there's less physical movement you have to do to press, say, F5. Now the question is, how far can we take that? How few keys can we have before it becomes more cumbersome than it's worth? It's probably around 40%, to be honest. It seems like every keyboard in a smaller size is actually just a novelty item. So how hard is it to learn to type on this ergonomic monstrosity?
Okay, I finally have the dactyl manuform. It is fresh off the 3D printing presses from Russia. I'm kind of excited. To be honest, I think it won't be that hard. I mean, how hard could it be? Like, they move the rows over a little bit. It's going to take some retraining, but I imagine it won't take that long to get, 100-ish words per minute. All right, let's see. Oh my god, are you all tabbed? Oh my god. Wait, where's the space bar? Is it this one? This one? This one? Is it on the right hand? It's the furthest button from the cluster? No way, that's the default. That's insanity. 4, F, ASD, F. Oh my god, maybe I should just look at my hands. The. Why is this so hard? I feel like I'm typing in a different language right now, or at least a different layout. We're at 5 right now. I think we can get 10. I'm feeling a little better. T. After. Oops. Hit the Windows key. Where? Alright, speed. And. Oh, so close. Period. I found it somewhere. There it is. The thermodynamics of pizza. That was not that bad. 12 words per minute. Peaked at a clean 15 as well. We take those. We take those. I mean, it's day 1. I don't know. I actually thought this would be a much easier project than it was going to be, though. Or it currently looks like it's going to be. I wasn't really sure how hard it would actually be to pick up this kind of keyboard, but I didn't expect it to be as difficult as learning an alternate layout. But here I was, barely able to scrape by with 20 words per minute on my default. What's kind of interesting was that my brain and hands wanted to type in kovaak of all things. Maybe some synaptic pathway went through the logic of, oh, we're in weird typing mode right now, let's load up the kovaak muscle memory. Another funny thing about typing quickly is that you never actually think about where any of the keys are. You think about a word or a letter and your fingers do the rest, but if I had to point out exactly where a specific key was in a diagram, I probably couldn't. And that was becoming a problem when all of the keys weren't exactly where they should be. Everything being slightly offset made it so I couldn't use my muscle memory easily, but I also couldn't actively tell you where any specific key was on the keyboard. So it was a difficult and inaccurate typing experience at first. Alright, I've been playing a bit of Bomb Party lately, and I want to try it with this new keyboard. I think it'll be a good way to train a little bit of bursting, a little bit of familiarity with this keyboard. So let me just join. I'll join Bug's domain. Oh, perfect. This one's about to start. Perfect. All right. I've been doing a little bit of type racer here and there, so I'm kind of confident with my ability to use this keyboard. And I'm decent at this game. Usually I win, so I think we'll be okay. At least with answering prompts, I'll be fine. Outsourced. Wait, these pliers are not bad. But I'll be fine. Alimony? Where's I? Moni. Jesus Christ. It happens. I don't know. I guess typing words that aren't really like the standard of what we usually type in, like, you know, type racer, things like that. Let's do under. Where's D? D. Why am I struggling so much? But it's fine. I'll join the next one. I'll have another chance. You know, it just takes practice. Takes time to. Bro. You am her. It was H. Well, that was fast. Major domo. Almost. Let's do equivocating. Come on. Complexer. Yes! Why does that work? Come on!
Victoire Royale. Let's go.
Nice.
Ventriculocystonotomy. What the heck? These people are crazy. Benefactor. Wait, are they dying? That's one. Duvitines. Let's go! Dude, that was like 28 minutes. Good game, good game.
Okay. That'll do. That'll do, I think.
But we think about recently. Okay, maybe roguelikes aren't a good example, actually, because there are some good games like Hades. What was it? Slay the Spire is pretty recent too. I think this one's gonna kill him. I think we got him. Okay. GG. Now I go. How about let's try the heavies room. Okay. Ooh, I recognize one of these players. I think I can beat him. I'll try. Yeah, I'll try. It's been a while. I've practiced a few times since then, so I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna focus a little, so I might not talk too much, but I want to win this one. I got one. Sellsword. What? How does that not work? I could have sworn that was real. Well, as long as he doesn't get into their life. Let's go! We got him! Oh my gosh. After all that. No, he already left! Kunai Storm just left the building. I don't even get to hit him with the snide GG. But dude, what a rush! What a rush! I feel like I just killed the final boss. That was cathartic. Let's go. So yeah, I think the keyboard's pretty good. It's hard for me to know what part of the keyboard really makes it so nice for me with all of its unique characteristics, but I do think split and ortho is something that's worth trying. Split keyboards offer a lot of functionality, aside from being able to put your hands wherever. It can clear up some space for your mouse if you're playing FPSs, or allow for some more creative applications with that space. Ortholinear on its own didn't really wow me, but I do think that feeling of everything being a little easier does come from it being ortholinear. I kinda got that feeling on the other ortho board I have, but since it wasn't split, it wasn't really worth it. As far as 40% goes, I'm pretty decent at typing numbers and symbols that I use often, but the real downside is that I have to change out my keyboard whenever I want to play games. The curvature and layout is just a little weird for most control schemes. Not impossible, but weird. If minimizing finger movement is what you care about most, try 40%. There's a learning curve with memorizing all your layers and developing the muscle memory, but especially if you're someone who types symbols a lot, you could look into it. But do I like the curvature for typing? I do wish I had another split ortho keyboard to compare with, but I think I do. This keyboard does a lot in the pursuit of ergonomics, but it's actually not the endgame. People who are really committed to keyboard ergonomics will print their own versions of this board and fit the specifications to their own hands. Despite that, it is still very comfortable, though there's definitely a learning curve. So, who should use an ergonomic keyboard? The use case for an alternate layout is usually increased comfort, ergonomics, and a better chance of staving off RSI. But this kind of keyboard fulfills a similar role without nearly as much time required to get used to it. I don't know if the speed in which I picked up this keyboard is because of my experience with typing using unorthodox stuff, or it's actually just not that hard to pick up. But still, being able to type at 80% of my normal speed within just a couple of days is something no one is able to do with an alternate layout. But definitely the primary audience is people who type constantly for work or otherwise and want to preserve their wrist for as long as possible. Aside from that, it would just be people who enjoy typing and want a new, smoother experience. I could see myself using this for everything if it worked well for games too. Depending on your use case, there's definitely a keyboard out there that would most likely be pretty comfy to type on. Is there a use case for someone looking to type a little faster? Maybe? It honestly does feel like I could potentially be faster with time. Everything is just so easy and fluid, but in practice, my recent averages are about the same. Some people will probably be curious what it's like to use an alternate layout and an ergonomic keyboard at the same time. Switching from a normal keyboard with QWERTY to an ergonomic keyboard with kovaak DH is kind of like going from an awful office keyboard to an expensive mechanical one. I don't really type that much faster on an expensive keyboard, but God, it feels so much better to type on. Many people also talk about how another benefit of ergonomic keyboards is how they illuminate the quirks in their typing style, and how they have habits that aren't the standard. It is true. I found myself hitting air while trying to press Y with my left hand, and I no longer have that issue. But that said, having by-the-book touch typing technique is not really all that it's cracked up to be, especially in terms of speed. So that's what I'll leave you with. Should you get an ergonomic keyboard? Probably not. But I do enjoy typing a lot more than I used to. I'm almost excited to type something extensive so I have an excuse to use this keyboard more. To me, it's almost always worth investing in your passions if time and budget allows. And while this is just about typing, I felt the same way about getting a nice mouse or a quality guitar. This is stuff that takes things I love and makes them even more satisfying, and I never have to worry about feeling limited by my equipment. To me, that's worth it, but your mileage may vary. Thanks for watching.